Hey, welcome to The Fix. My name's Tucker.
And I'm Travis.
And today we're actually going to fix something, which is great.
Which is excellent.
You know, one of the reasons we wanted to start doing the show was to just teach people some very simple ways to fix things in their house. Sometimes people get overwhelmed. I have friends that will call somebody else to do it, and that's great. We appreciate people in the trades, but we can also just teach you very simple ways to fix something. So today, we're at Travis's house, and we're going to show you how to trim a door, which is a very simple process, but this one got a little complicated, so we're gonna show you how to deal with curveballs that happen when you're renovating and remodeling. So let's take a look.
Story is, I had animals that didn't like to, just stay upstairs, so I installed this door.
There was no door here?
There was no door here
Okay.
prior. It was just an open space. So, yep, installed new door. Obviously, I'm no expert at the rest of the portion, so.
That's okay, we're gonna become experts today.
Exactly.
So first thing we wanted to do was make sure that the door trim we're going to install matches the rest of the trim in your
Right.
house. So we got 2¼ inch clamshell.
Yep.
Very, very common. You can get it anywhere. The trouble is right here. So if we install a piece of 2¼ inch clamshell here, it would start right here and it would end right in this gap. So the first thing we got to do is fill this gap. So we're going to clip these shims off. We're going to fill in this gap. We're going to put a piece of drywall in there. We're going to spackle it.
Okay.
And then we're going to come back and put the trim in.
Sweet.
All right, so let me walk you through the tools that we're going to use today. This doesn't necessarily mean the tools that you'll need, and we'll talk about that a little bit, but these are the tools that we're going to use today. So first thing, we have our little Dremel oscillating tool. This is great. It's basically just a saw that's straight. We're going to use that to clip off the ends of the shims, make room for the drywall.
Okay.
We have our Milwaukee impact gun with our Montana brand drywall bit. I'm so excited to use this. If you want to know more about this, go back and watch our episode where we visited Montana brand tools in their facility. This is the really cool drywall bit. The shank actually comes off and goes back on, and it spins, and you can replace the bit in there. That's awesome. We have some various hand tools, knife we're going to use to cut drywall, tape measure. We're going to be using the DeWalt brushless 20-volt straight angle brad nailer. This shoots 18 gauge brad nails of various sizes. I'll show you, we're going to use different sizes for different applications. These are really cool. I've actually never used one of these. I've always used pneumatic tools, air powered tools. This one's just powered by a battery.
Perfect.
That's it.
That'd be nice.
All the companies are coming out with these. These are awesome. So we're going to use that, just a battery on there, and we're good to go.
Nice.
And then we're going to be using the DeWalt battery-powered 7¼ inch compound miter saw. So the reason I call it a compound miter saw is because it not only goes up and down, but it actually slides back and forth. Nice. So it's actually super helpful. It'll let us cut wider wood. This is also battery powered, which is super helpful because we don't need to run extension cords and all that stuff. So we're going to use that to cut some of that filler wood in there, and we're good to go. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we have these blocks in here that we're using as shims to hold the door in. We need to cut them back a little bit so that we can fit the drywall in. So all you're going to do is, using the oscillating saw, you're just going to cut back to the edge of the drywall here. You can cut back a little bit further, give it a little bit of room, that's fine, but you don't need to cut way back. Just going to cut right there on all of these shims, and then we'll be good to go.
Sounds good.
So remember,
So the
blade,
front of the blade.
Blade's about 1/8 inch wide.
Yep.
So if you want to try to be really accurate, like if we want to keep this piece, we want to cut on the other side of the line.
Mm-hmm.
So. All right, so we're going to use our nail gun to put these blocks in. Great application for this. We have two different size nails today. We have 2 inch and 1 inch. These are our 2 inch nails. All you do for this is there's a little thumb catch here, a little button, slide it down, and then you're going to take your nail, which has a head on one end. You can feel it. It's kind of hard to discern, but that's the head. You slide it in there, lay it down, and then you just push it forward.
That's it.
That's it.
Nice.
Okay, and it will, when you run out of nails, this will stop working. It'll tell you, oh, because you're going to depress the safety to shoot the gun. The safety won't depress. Yeah, put 2 of them in there. And just get out So what we ended up doing was putting some 2x4 blocks that we cut to size, because as in every house remodel, nothing is ever the same size all the way from the top to the bottom, and nothing is ever square. So we have some blocks in here that we put in, and this is just going to give us something to screw the drywall to. That's it. That's all that's there for. So now we have that. We're going to cut a very thin strip of drywall, and we're going to screw it in there. But we're just going to cut a strip out of this edge of the drywall because this is beveled. Like we were talking about earlier, we want the seam of the drywall to have a little bit of a bevel to it so that when we put the spackle in there, it brings it back up to level. Okay, so we're going to cut it out of this beveled edge, and then we're going to screw it into the gap.
Sweet.
So quick tutorial on drywall. It's basically paper on both sides and spackle in the middle. So all that we need to do is score the paper on the one side and snap it, and then cut the paper on the back side. You let it hang down a little bit. It makes it easier to find that gap, maybe. So you're just going to put the knife in the crease. You don't have to cut through the whole thing. You don't have to pull real hard. You just cut in the paper. All right, so that gives us our drywall strip. It's going to fit right in there, just like that. And this is what a rasp is for. And it doesn't break quite evenly. There we go. All right, so we're gonna put some screws in this to hold it in. This is a drywall bit. So this is designed to sink the head of the screw in just enough so that it leaves an indentation so you can fill it with spackle. I just can't do this cleanly. I don't know how. It's part of my personality. But we put some cardboard down so we don't drop it all over your floor. But spackle's going to fill in the gaps, and then we're going to put tape over top of it, and that's going to keep it from cracking as it dries. So that's what we're going to do next. I always try to get a little bit off the edge because that's where it's going to fall off onto the floor, like that. And then you're just going to smear it in there. See? Now see, if you keep going, it starts to walk to the end of the blade. Okay. You scrape it off, you put more in, and then we're going to come back over it with the wide blade. So then you're going to use this kind of like, you're just going to screed it like concrete. It's not going to be pretty. All right, so we've finally gotten to the place where we can actually do what we came here to do, which is a great example of how things don't always go as you plan, and you have to figure out a way around it. But we filled in the gap, we've spackled it. There's still a little bit of touch-up needed here, but we're ready to do some trim. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to mark our initial gap. Okay. So we're just going to kind of eyeball about an 1/8 inch reveal right here. And we're going to do the same thing here. And that's going to give us a measuring point, okay? Okay. So the first thing we're going to do then is measure where these spots are. We're going to measure from that line to that line and get a nice accurate measurement. So hold it. When I do this, so it's nice and accurate, hold it on an edge so you can see the edge of the tape there. And that'll give us a nice accurate measurement. I got 30 and 9/16. Okay. Okay. We're gonna switch this to 45. Lock it in, and you're gonna cut
first one off.
Yep, and you just, because this has a defect, you just want that line to cut that defect off, and I'll help you by holding it up out here.
Okay.
So it doesn't need to be super accurate, and we're not measuring yet. We're just making that cut. All right, so this is always way easier to do with 2 people. You can do it with 1 person, but it's a little difficult because you need somebody to hold that little edge right on the edge of the bottom angle that we just cut. And then I'm gonna mark it at this end at 30 and 9/16 with a vertical line this way, because that's with the line that this is gonna cut, so I wanna have it nice and super accurate. Right. So 30 and 9/16. So what's gonna happen is when the saw comes down, right, it's coming across here, but when it cuts down this little 1/8 inch thing, it's gonna make a straight line down.
Right.
So that's your mark right there. Perfect. So we use the nice little short nails, and we're going to try not to split the wood.
Okay.
And we're just going to tack it into here. We're not going to nail it into here. We're going to use the long nails up in here.
So I have been curious about this.
Yeah.
Because I know that this isn't exactly flat, so doing that actually will
Yeah,
pull it
so
in.
what's going to happen is that when we get on the edge, we're going to actually bevel this in, right? So if there's a gap out here, that's okay. We'll fill that with caulk. Yeah. We just want to make sure it's the same, right? So, I think, yeah.
That's like right there.
Yep,
yeah.
right about where our line is here.
Okay.
Yep. And we're good. All right, so we just kind of, so what we're going to do is I'm going to put a nail in here. Okay. And then you're going to come over here. You want to, like we were saying, tip it in like this.
Yep.
Hold it on our mark there. Because you just want it to be the same all the way across. You know what I mean? So
right
look.
there. A little bit up.
Yeah, so that reveal right there is all the same all the way across.
Yep.
Okay. You can put like 2 more. Good. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut the angles that we want first.
Okay.
And we're gonna let them fly long.
And then
We're
just
gonna
cut
flip
the
them
bottom.
upside down. We're gonna put the point on the ground, hold it up here, and that'll give us our cut mark.
Sweet.
It makes it really easy to. We don't even have to measure.
Nice.
All right. So that's our right leg. Okay. We're going to flip this upside down. The only trick to this is we want to make sure that we're not in a hole down there or it's sitting exactly where the bottom is going to sit.
Okay.
Okay. So sometimes this could be a little tricky, but if you just use your foot, hold it in, and there's our measurement right there.
Well, that's easy.
And then we're just going to cut that straight.
Sweet. All right, ready?
Yep. All right, so 2 things we're trying to avoid. We don't want a big gap at the top. We don't want a big gap at the bottom. And we don't want it too long to have to fit it in here. So that's what we're trying to get to. So we want a nice tight angle here
Okay.
that holds basically the same seam all the way down. So we're going to take our nail gun. We're going to tack in at the top. And then we're going to kind of move this as we go. Go ahead and do the rest. I'm going to kind of line it up at the bottom where I got my gap about right. Put it in at the top, angle it in, and I'm just going to pull it in, and then I'm going to put 1 in. And same thing,
Sweet.
all the way down. Miss.
Miss.
It's okay, go further down. You don't want 2 holes right next to each other. I'm gonna fix these angles here, so they're not flush here.
Right.
Some of that we will fix mechanically, some of it we'll fix with caulk.
Okay.
And then we're gonna put some longer nails on the outside that'll catch this outside stud. All right, so it looks pretty good, not quite done yet. What we're gonna do now is switch nails. We're gonna go from the 1-inch T-nails that we've been using, nice short ones, to the longer ones, which are 2-inch. And we're gonna do that because it needs to go through the trim and the drywall and hopefully get into the stud.
Okay.
So one of the things we're gonna do is we're gonna take a shim. This is a plastic shim. And we're gonna wedge it in here. Just like that.
Got it.
And then we're gonna take one of those nails and we're gonna be very careful. We're gonna try to shoot it straight in this way. If we angle up, it'll pop out the top. If we angle down, it'll pop out the front. We're just gonna put 1 nail in right there. Try to be as accurate as you can. You wanna be in this edge over here, because it gets really thin over here. So you wanna try to just go right through here. It's just gonna tack this corner together.
Don't shoot myself.
Don't shoot yourself. There you go. Even though we painted this ahead of time, we're gonna go back in and fill these nail holes and these gaps.
Okay.
And then you can touch that up with the same trim paint. All right, so we're gonna caulk those nail holes and those gaps.
Okay.
These are tiny holes, tiny gaps, so we don't want to cut a big hole in the end of this.
Some precision.
We want to
going on.
start and we're going to go on a little bit of an angle, and we're just going to go as tiny as we can. A little bit bigger. Like that. Just near the hole.
Using what I got.
Yep. All right, so we filled in the gap so that we could have some place to put the drywall so that we could fill that in properly. We've trimmed the door. That is how you trim a door. And I think it was a good example because sometimes you just run into angles that don't work, spots that you have to fill in, and you have to get to the end so it looks nice.
And I think I learned a lot more than, you know, initially what we were expecting with this, because we came into it like, oh, we just got to put up some trim.
Yeah.
We learned a little bit of drywall, you know, like you said, making it work with what you got.
Yeah.
We got to try out some tools that'll really help out for, you know, anybody that might be doing something similar to this.
But you can do it. Like, I think
Yeah.
that was the whole point. Is like, you know what? Even if you don't know what you're doing, you can start learning this stuff. It's
Right.
really not that hard, and the tools are available to you pretty easily.
Yeah,
They're not that hard.
I mean,
to use.
stuff like this is somebody, you know, that might have minimal knowledge can just kind of grab, pick up, kind of figure it out themselves if they have to, or have a good coworker that is willing to teach them. So on the next episode, we'll be headed down to Bozeman. We're going to be learning about some drywall from some experts that you may have heard of.
And before we do that, we have a chainsaw to give away.
That's right.
All right, let's do that. So we had a great time in our last episode out on the ranch with our Milwaukee rep Dylan and Anthony demoing this saw, and the results were really impressive.
Yeah, I think we all walked out and were very impressed with the power that this provided for them. We saw some really good real-world usage of it.
Yep.
And yeah, we're all very impressed.
Yeah, so props to Milwaukee. Good job on this. Thanks to Milwaukee for letting us have one of these to give away, and we have a winner.
Yep, the winner is Luke Phillips.
So congratulations, Luke. We'll be in touch. Hope you get good use out of this. Comes with 2 Forge batteries and the dual bay rapid charger. And yeah, that'll be awesome. Hope you get great use out of it.